Your Honor, the DPP, having perused the entire file and the evidence therein, has now directed that the matter be placed before a magistrate having competent jurisdiction for the matter to be disposed of by way of a public inquest. He has further directed that the first to seventh respondents be to seventh respondents to be treated as witnesses in the intended inquest proceedings. Your Honor, having gotten those directions, we now pray that the miscellaneous file before you be closed.
R1 to R7 be treated as witnesses?
Witnesses in the inquest proceedings. We now pray that the file before you be closed, Your Honor.
I appear for the first respondent, and this is when us and when required.
Faraday Nyankoro, but who has gone to the next court to handle a matter? You're for the? For the 7th and the 3rd. Together with Mr. Namburu and my learned friend. Your Honor, I want to concur and also maybe thank you for the humanness that you showed when we were here last week. I'm sure that the young people listened. I'm also happy that the IO has rushed through this. It's not hope for not the years in practice. We have sat in the court and everything has rushed through and we finished it in the same day. Learned prosecutor has been very cooperative. Your Honor, I thank this court. I heard what my learned friend was saying. But having said that, Your Honor, the only thing I can say from my experience for these years is that sometimes when there's been an offense committed, it's not good to howl everybody that you find in that premises, because injustice to one is injustice to everyone. So that to that extent, I'm only saying that the investigating officers should be able to understand that, especially these students, that we are also creating more psychological problems when we lock them up, and that is what you were saying last week, that we have a lot of problems in this country where children are psychologically affected. So locking them again, if only the police officers can consider the fact that these were university students, they didn't drop from anywhere. There must be a chain into their admission, so they were not going to escape to thin air. But this is for the next day. But all said and done, Your Honor, we do appreciate that there's again going to be an issue about psychological help for them, and I'm sure many parents are listening here, so that we don't leave them at that, even with the experience they have had in the sense. But all in all, I'm grateful that I was in your court. Thank you so much, Your Honor, and thank you for everyone who has been here, the press as well, so that you can be able to clean up your records, because these children, we don't want them to carry
when
on.
you're still on your feet.
Yes.
And now because you prompted that, and we appreciate it, we are now more senior. You be saying that they are, we are not saying that they are guilty, but they are the right place, in the right place at the right time?
No.
Can we say that it is all to the law enforcement agencies that were wrong? Did this law enforcement agency just pop into that house because they were all asleep and they are to blame? Would it be that they can sue the law enforcement agency? And again, I will not be writing anything.
Yes.
Is there anything that you will tell this 70?
Yes. And I was going to say that. I was going to say that Yes, I would be asking these young people to be each one's keeper. So that the extent that if they could notice that someone is completely drunk, and I'm not saying they were, but it's good to
But
be
they were. That's what we agree.
yeah. But maybe
Even on Monday,
yes,
you see, when you look at them today and when you look at them on Monday, they were all drunk.
it is true, they look much better.
Today they look well groomed.
I-
That day they were just looking like, you know.
Yes.
You
So,
see, today they can even comprehend where they are. I don't think you realize where you are on Monday.
I agree completely.
They did not know where they were.
Yeah, so
Today some of them have, I think,
yeah, they are clear.
I believe even if your lecturers are here today, you could be admitted to classes. But on Monday, none of you would have gotten into class. Not even at the gate, you alone the classroom.
So I was going to say that it's not only the time you are sipping the drink that you are friends. It is even after that you become each other's keeper. So that friendship can be friendship of
Many, because
of many.
when we were raised up, when our parents were talking to us, I don't think you had been seated, because if you are seated, the next thing you heard is a rungu hitting your head. For those who are raised during our time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. You don't sit when an elder is talking to you. It should be old school thinking, but there's a lot of mentorship to be done to the seven of you.
But I wanted to say something also about the number 7. Number 6 said that I
The
really
city council,
Yes.
you see, you open up a Pandora box.
yes.
When you are asking in mitigation, and I'll address it because you are the one who has caused it. You said that the 7 respondent is a parent, 3-year-old, and all that. So again, today you bring into the issue of that she was visiting the boyfriend. So she had rather visit the boyfriend and leave her 3-year-old child with the parent.
And I like
Those are the wrong morals.
I like
you're
the way
saying.
you even asked it last week.
Yes.
You asked that question. But the point I'm trying to make is the same point I made, that generally speaking, when you find people in a flat and an incident has happened, it is good that the police take time to find out who was there and for what reason.
You can wind up.
Yes, I'm
Wind up so
winding
that I
up.
take charge now.
Yes, yes, I want to wind up and say that thank you so much for even giving me that time to address these young people.
Any other council?
Well, that at least. Less violent. We are happy that it ascended the way it ascended. However, we wish that we thought is to do clarify so that the names, the nature of all these practices will live with these kids. We appreciate the fact that they'll be able to correct the position as it was reported from them last time. Thank you.
Any other council who was
Let them move on from here. Whatever steps they will take next and to mentor them and all that.
Council Ombet, have you said anything that can help this young?
I spoke to the 1st and 5th.
So why can't you speak to one of them?
Right now.
Yes.
See, sometimes when they're out of this place,
Yes.
they think it is business as usual. Hata wataendelea kupiga sherehe.
Maybe I need to give them not been
Very good.
but I became good. I became a better person. I was expelled in class 6.
To them.
I was
Let
expelled
me
in class
stand here
6.
and speak them to them.
In class 6 in Nairobi Primary. After that, I went Muri, first week, first time. I was in class for 4 days only and I was expelled. I went to Highway Secondary School, I was expelled. From Highway, I went to Friends School, Kamsinga, I was expelled. From there, I went to Kabarak, I was expelled. So, I had to reach a point where I had to realize what I'm doing probably is not the right thing. Because the route I was taking me down the drain. Though in all these instances, I was the best in class in all these things. But then, you trouble your parents. You give them ulcers. You give them anguish. They wake up in the morning, they are working so hard for you. But then, they get surprised because I am so certain that when the parents wake up in the morning and they're waking up at 4 a.m. that you are being arrested, they know you're in class, they know you're in college, but then they wake up in the morning, you are in the cells. Imagine the trauma that goes through them. Imagine the tension, imagine the pain they feel. Yet they have trusted you. That is why you can be given apartments to stay. That is why you can go and stay at home and For us, we were being beaten, we were staying in the hostels. And the food was bad, we couldn't cook for ourselves. Give that a consideration. And not only that, but also for yourself, because this is the time that you're molding yourself. All that time you're in high school, secondary school, probably you had that, what can I say, gap for mischief. It was available for you. Here onwards, you're in campus. Where is that gap? You don't want your name to appear in social media, because the next time it appears in social media, you go to your next employer and he Googles and sees that your picture is there.
Even for visas,
Yes.
even visas.
Yes.
I think you've put yourself in a very, very unfortunate situation. Because right now, even for the visas, it's just Google your name, either you get it or you not get it.
It becomes a problem. So anything you do now, in this age of of technology and everything, please be careful. I'm not going to tell you work hard or not. You know that you're supposed to. I'm not going to tell you to read. You know you're supposed to. It is for your own good.
The impact when she fallen from.
And you also had asked for the CCTV. Did you take the forensic?
Yeah.
And what was the CCTV?
The CCTV, we received officers from DCI headquarters who retrieved the CCTV, and they extracted, after viewing, captured the movement of the deceased and the first respondent as they were leaving from the house of second respondent, which is in 12th floor. As they reach to the 11th floor, there is a grill which you cannot exit to block B. So they tried to jump whereby he could be able to enter to the balcony of the first respondent. So when after the E1 jumped, the deceased followed as per the CCTV footage. So that's what was the last moment.
So what do you want a magistrate to do?
So after we compiled all, we forwarded to the ODPP. After they review and perused the file, that's when they have given us their directives.
That is so clear. What do you want a magistrate to hear?
Toxicology, we forwarded we took some samples of blood from the deceased during the post-mortem, which was forwarded for the toxicology for analysis, which established that the deceased, she has consumed alcohol.
Are the parents of the deceased been put today? Are the relative of the deceased? So,
Parents of the victim to close the file.
just make your application, because if that is what was there, and all of them were drunk, that I can now say that you are all drunk. If there's any of you who are not drunk, can you tell me that you are not drunk? Because I think it is in this case that you are not drunk to raise their hand. Since last week, because you've not taken liquor. So is it doable that you can stay without liquor? And the better than will come now. Whose money were you employed? So whose money were you drinking? Itonga, whose money were you drinking? Hmm? Huyu ni Sonko. Is Gitonga's parents here? Talk to your daddy. And put your hands by your side. Ongea na daddy. Now that you're not being charged, talk to your father. Before court number 7 for the 9th day of December 2025 for directions and hearing, please.
Yes, sir. We were asking that probably then, because we heard from my colleagues, they'll also be actively involved in the matter as it goes on. If we can be supplied with those statements that the prosecution will be having. It's okay. And also a copy of the...
They should be allowed. I don't think I have to put them on bond.
No.
That I do not have to.
Yes, you
I think we've spoken long enough. I believe it's been a good talk. Tough, but we love you. We really do. So the statements be availed to the councils as prayed. Mention will be on the 9th day of December 2025 before court number 7, Honorable Mbuto. Louis, as you step down, go to your father and your mother, and Mama, because I want you to go and stand next to them.